Gohan had been training in the hyperbolic time chamber for almost a year. He felt like it was time to make his beast form feel more natural. He had so much power in that form, but he wanted to use it like it was just part of him. So he decided to stay in his beast form all the time, and never go back to his normal form. But after a while, he started to lose too much energy. He needed to go back to his normal form to recharge. He was disappointed. He wanted to keep using the beast form, but it was just using up too much ki. He was determined to make it work, though. He knew it wouldn't be easy. So he tried again. He went back to his beast form, and this time, he tried to meditate in that form. It helped a little. He was able to control his energy a bit better. But after a while, he still lost too much ki and had to go back to his normal form. He wasn't giving up though. He had only tried a couple of times. He knew he needed to keep trying, until he figured out if he could do it or not. He wouldn't give up. He had to master his beast form. It was important. He had to be ready for anything, so with that he tried again. Once again, after a few weeks have passed he kept trying. Now he has tried many times now, he again lost too much ki and had to transform back. But this time, it felt different. He could stay in his beast form for a whole day now. That was a huge improvement. He felt like he could do it. He could make this form as natural as his regular form. It was going to be hard, but he felt like he was getting closer. In the past few days, he has been working hard. He would meditate in his beast form, eat in his beast form, even practice martial arts in his beast form. He still had to go back to his normal form sometimes to recharge, but the more he practiced, the longer he could stay in his beast form. He was making progress. A few months went by, and it had already been a year. He could now use his beast form for days straight without losing too much energy. But he still felt like there was something he was missing. He wasn't sure what it was yet, but he knew he wasn't quite there yet. He had to figure out what he was missing. He was determined to master this form. He couldn't give up. It was going to take more time, but he was going to get it. Gohan started to think about his training. He thought about his ultimate state, where he had poured all his Super Saiyan 2 power into his base form. It was a powerful form, but maybe he could make it even stronger. He thought about Super Saiyan 3. If he could get Super Saiyan 3, maybe he could make his ultimate state even better. And maybe there was an even better version of his ultimate state, a perfect version. He just needed to unlock more super forms. Of course, this was just an idea. He wasn't sure it would work, but it was worth a try. He already had a stronger form, so he thought it wouldn't take too long to get Super Saiyan 3. He didn't even have to master it, he just needed to get it. So he decided to start training in his Super Saiyan 2 form, hoping to unlock Super Saiyan 3. He trained for a few months, pushing himself as hard as he could. And finally, he did it. He unlocked Super Saiyan 3. It took longer than he expected, but he had done it. That's what matters the most. Gohan was exhausted. Super Saiyan 3 used up a lot of his energy. He immediately went back to his base form to recharge. He sat down and closed his eyes, starting to meditate. He wasn't slacking off. He had to get stronger. He had to be ready for anything. After a while, he felt his energy coming back. He opened his eyes and stood up. It was time to test his theory. He took a deep breath and started to power up, like he was going to transform into Super Saiyan 3. But he stopped just before he actually transformed. He felt a huge burst of power. It was incredible, but then, just as quickly as it came, the power went away. He was back to his normal strength. He was a bit sweaty and out of breath, but he couldn't help but smile. He had done it. He had managed to get the power of Super Saiyan 3 into his base form. It was a big step, but it was clear that his body wasn't ready to hold that much power all the time. He had to keep training. But the good thing was, it worked. His theory was right. He was on the right track. Gohan started training really hard in his base form. He pushed himself as hard as he could, trying to get stronger. When he was tired, he would meditate and do some mental training. When he was rested, he would go back to his intense training. He was determined to get stronger. 2 years went by in the hyperbolic time chamber. He knew it was time to go home. He missed his wife, Vital, and his daughter, Pan. He had been gone for 2 years, but for them, it was just 2 days. He walked through the door of their house and saw Vital. She looked at him, a little surprised. "Where have you been, Gohan?" she asked. And why do you look so beat up? Gohan chuckled. I've been training, he said. I was training in the hyperbolic time chamber for 2 years. He smiled at his wife. He was glad to be home. He knew he had a lot to tell them. He couldn't wait to see his daughter, Pan. Gohan's training had to be put on hold for now. He had other things to do, like spend time with his family. Meanwhile, on Beerus's planet, Goku and Vegeta, along with Broly, were training hard, pushing themselves to their limits. They were always trying to get stronger, to be ready for anything. Whis and Beerus were watching them train. They were impressed by their hard work. Whis helped Broly with his mental training. Broly had a lot of power, but he needed to learn to control his rage. It wasn't always easy, but Whis was a patient teacher. Goku and Vegeta were sparring, pushing each other to their limits. They were both very strong, but they were always trying to improve. They knew that Frieza was a real threat, and they wanted to be ready to face him. Beerus watched them for a while, but eventually, he got tired of watching them train. He decided to go back to his chamber, to do his favorite activity, which was sleeping. He was a very powerful god, but he was also pretty lazy. Meanwhile, Zeno, the king of all universes, was playing with his toys in his grand palace. The Grand Priest, his protector and advisor, watched over him, making sure he was safe. Suddenly, a strange thing happened. A giant crack appeared in space-time, right outside the palace. Zeno's guards immediately sprang into action. The Grand Priest looked at the opening, his eyes wide with surprise. He could see through the crack, into other dimensions, other worlds, other possibilities. He wasn't sure what he was looking at, but he knew it was something powerful. He saw 5 figures standing on the other side of the crack. He could sense their power. They were very strong. One of them was a muscular blonde man. 2 were beautiful women, one with white hair and one with blue hair. The other 2 were younger, a girl with pink hair and a girl with blue hair. All 5 of them were releasing an amazing amount of power. The Grand Priest could sense that they were using God Ki, but it was different. It felt different, more powerful, more alien. He watched as they stepped out of the crack, ready to enter the universe. He had a feeling that something big was about to happen. Who are you people, and what do you want? The Grand Priest asked, his voice deep and firm. He had his arms crossed, his expression serious. He was always calm and collected, but he was ready to defend Zeno if needed. The blonde man just smirked. So you must be the Grand Minister of this reality, he said. The Grand Priest nodded. How pathetic is everyone in this reality? This week, he added, his voice dripping with arrogance. I don't like him, one of the Zenos said, a childish pout on her face. Yeah, he's duper annoying, the other Zeno agreed, her voice just as childish. Oh, what do we have here? This reality have a child as a supreme being. And there are 2 of them. Blue-haired woman said, her voice was a little surprised. She looked at the 2 Zenos, then back to the Grand Priest. Wait, no, she said, frowning. The other one isn't even from this timeline. The Grand Priest looked at the 5 newcomers, trying to understand what was happening. He had never seen these people before. He wasn't sure how they got into the universe, but he knew that they were powerful. Zeno's guards weren't happy. They didn't like it when people insulted their little king. They charged at the blonde man, fists raised. But the blonde man was too quick. He easily caught both of their punches. If I were you, I'd know my place, he said, his voice calm but powerful. He pushed the guards back with a strange force. The last thing they saw before they fell unconscious was a flash of a dragon in the blonde man's eyes. The guards were unable to move. They had been knocked out. The Grand Priest and the 2 Zenos were shocked. They had never seen anything like that before. The guards were usually very strong, but they had been defeated easily. The 2 Zenos were angry. They had had enough of this. You're very bad, they both said in unison, their voices full of anger. You should disappear. They both raised a hand, their hands glowing with power. Bye-bye, they said, and they used their erasers on the group. But nothing happened. The group was still there, unharmed. The 2 Zenos looked confused. Their erasers had never failed before. What was going on? Sorry, little kid, the white-haired woman said, a sly smile on her face, but that level of eraser doesn't work on us. How? The Grand Priest asked. He was really surprised. Zeno's eraser was supposed to be the most powerful thing in the universe. It was supposed to work on anyone, no matter how strong they were. The Omni King's eraser should have been supreme, he said, shaking his head. The true dragons, cannot be erased no matter how powerful the eraser, the blue-haired man said. He had a mask over his face, so the Grand Priest couldn't see his expression. This kind of child's play is nothing to us. The Grand Priest blinked, his mind racing. True dragons? He asked. He had never heard of true dragons before. He knew about wishing dragons, but true dragons? He had never heard of them. Not in all his years. Oh, you don't need to know, the blue-haired, masked man said. He sounded a bit bored. The only thing you need to know is that you have 1 year. 1 year for what? The Grand Priest asked. He was confused. What was going on? 1 year to prepare all of your strongest fighters in this existence, the man said. He sounded serious now. Prepare for what? The Grand Priest asked again. He had a bad feeling about this. Prepare for us, the man said. He looked at the Grand Priest with a cold smile. We will attack this world after 1 year. And we hope you take this seriously. Because if you don't, the man laughed, you probably already know what will happen. He released his aura, a powerful energy that could be felt in every corner of the universe. The Grand Priest felt a chill run down his spine. This was no ordinary threat. The group turned and started walking back toward the rift. I hope you will like this little gift of ours, the masked man said, laughing. He raised his left hand, and a strange thing happened. The 12 universes started to merge, until there was only one universe left. It was a strange, new universe. It was terrifying. The masked man and his group walked into the rift, and the rift disappeared. The Grand Priest watched, his heart pounding. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to think. He had a feeling that this was going to be a very difficult year.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can't miss a new video. Well, goodbye to you all and thanks for watching.